Watching this movie was quite the interesting experience because I really didn't understand a lot of what was happening or why it was happening, and yet I still wanted to keep watching it. I guess I was waiting for an explanation at some point, but that just never happened, making this movie one of the weirdest that I've watched in a very long time. Hey guys, welcome back to the show, and on this episode, I'm going to be talking about Bloodbeat, a movie from 1983 that is perfect for this show because it is insanely weird. Now, the writer and director said that he was on drugs during at least some of the writing and the directing, which comes as no surprise considering just how bizarre this all is. So what is Bloodbeat all about? Well, that's a good question. Let's take a look and see if you can figure it out, because I couldn't. The movie takes place at Kathy's farmhouse during Christmas time, and she's expecting her kids, Ted and Dolly, to visit for the weekend. Her boyfriend, Gary, has been outside hunting deer and wants to show it off to her, but she isn't feeling too well.
You got a bad migraine?
So, I guess, drunk off the killing, Gary decides to pop the question in kind of a weird way.
What time do the kids go?
A couple of hours.
I'm gonna tell them that I'm gonna marry their mother.
Oh, no.
Gary, haven't you been listening? She has a migraine. She doesn't want to talk about marriage. That's like the boss fight of migraines. And Kathy is like, Gary, we don't need to get married. We're good right where we are. See, Gary, everything is fine. Life is perfect the way it is. I'm sure nothing bad and extremely bizarre is going to happen in the near future, so let's just enjoy this time with no bad, bizarre things. So then the kids arrive while Gary is field dressing the deer, so he wipes his hands off in some leaves because you gotta clean up when you're expecting company. Ted has brought his girlfriend for the weekend, and she gets the welcome of a lifetime. First a bloody, outstretched hand, and then the stare of absolute rejection when she meets Kathy. Believe it or not, I actually think this is a good start to Sarah's weekend because it is very clear that Kathy does not like her. And I know I said something like this a year or two ago in a different video, but when you're in a situation where the people you're supposed to try and impress make it very well known from the beginning that they do not like you, it kind of takes the pressure off. You know, you don't really need to try anymore. You no longer have to worry about, screwing something up or saying the wrong thing. They've already decided they don't like you. We all have a social battery. And when you go into a new situation with all new people and you don't know anyone and you're trying to make a good impression and, trying to get to know people, that can be very draining. But if you're going into a situation where you know that everybody hates you, it would kind of suck, but I just feel like I'd make the best of it. I think it could be kind of fun, because there's no social consequences. You can just tell everybody to go f themselves. It doesn't matter. I mean, you could try extra hard to make an amazing impression and get them to change their minds, but no, I say roll with it, Could make for a really funny story when you get home. Anyways, Ted's sister, Dolly, starts looking under the tree and finds a present for Sarah. And they're all like, what the hell? It must be some kind of Christmas miracle. Mom, how did you know that Sarah was even coming?
Mama, how do you even know Sarah was coming?
A mother knows everything.
And that's another thing. If I was to meet my significant other's family for the first time, I don't think I would want it to be a surprise, Like, hey everybody, Merry Christmas. By the way, here's this guy Mark that I'm dating. He's gonna stay for the weekend. And I'm just standing there like, I make funny videos for a living. I just don't think it would go over well. So Ted shows Sarah to her room and wants to have sex, of course, because that's not weird at all. But Sarah has to be a spoil sport. And she's like, I don't feel comfortable doing this with your family in the other room. I mean, your mom seems like she's just looking for reasons to hate me. And Ted's like, don't worry about my mom. She's downstairs painting. This is the perfect time to plow. She won't hear a thing. You know how loud painting can get. You know what, Sarah? I think this might actually be the right move now that I think about it. Have sex on the first bed that you see. Mark your territory. Show this lady, you know, hey, you want to be shitty to me all weekend? Well, I'll give you a reason to be shitty to me. I'll f*** on every piece of furniture in this house. But Sarah says she doesn't want to because it feels like Kathy is right there in the room with them. Anyways, they all go out hunting, and Sarah is worried that Ted is still mad at her for the whole not wanting to have sex because it felt like his mother was in the same room with them thing. And I have to say, I don't think this is the start to the weekend that Sarah was hoping for. I mean, the second she got there, Kathy started staring a hole right through her, and now Ted is pissed off because she didn't want to have sex. I wouldn't be surprised if Sarah was seriously considering just riding that horse all the way back home and never talking to these people again. Things get even better for Sarah because now she's got to go hunting for their holiday feast, even though, again, she doesn't want to. I guess Sarah is a real stick in the mud. No awkward sex, no killing things. She just doesn't want to do anything fun. I mean, where's your holiday spirit, Sarah? Is it really Christmas dinner if you didn't look the animal in the eyes before you blew its brains out? Anyways, they're hunting deer and suddenly they see one, but right as they're about to take the shot, Sarah's like, no, I can't let you do it. I've never been a fan of venison. I thought we were having turkey. So Sarah takes off and eventually runs into this guy who looks to be seriously injured. And everyone is like, oh my God, this is awful. I mean, we don't want to eat him. Anyways, the guy dies. At least I thought he was dead. And Sarah is really shaken up, so they give her 3 aspirin and a shot of brandy because Ted figures maybe that will get her in the mood. So Sarah is like, Ted, can you do me a favor and take your mother's artwork out of here? I mean, it's just awful. She has no talent. She's really just wasting paint. I'd rather stare at the bare walls. At least they look like they were painted by someone who knew what they were doing. So Ted leaves his understandably shaken up girlfriend alone in her room for the night, which you might think is kind of weird. I mean, wouldn't it be nice to try and be there for her, you know, keep her company? Well, yeah, but it's Christmas weekend. Ted has stuff to do. He's gotta go play Monopoly with his sister. I mean, what's he gonna say? No, sorry, I can't play right now because my girlfriend is still really rattled after a guy died in her arms? Anyways, Kathy is like, hey, Ted, I don't like your girlfriend. She's weird, and I have a bad feeling about her.
I feel I've seen her before, and I don't know why. I don't understand it.
Oh, well, excuse me. I thought that you knew everything. So Kathy is like, yeah, break up with Sarah. Now please, leave me alone to paint in this dark room while I listen to Georgian chants. But don't forget, break up with Sarah because she's the weird one. At some point during the night, Sarah wakes up and is compelled to open a trunk next to the bed, which holds a samurai sword and samurai armor, which used to be complimentary at a bed and breakfast back in the day before everyone got cheap. And at the same time, Kathy finds that she is being possessed by the spirit of an even worse painter. Sarah falls off the bed and they rush into her room where she tells Ted that she cut herself on the sword in the trunk, and Kathy gets even more pissed. She's gonna have to find a different spot to hide the Christmas gifts now. So Ted is like, Sarah, there's no trunk in this room. I mean, clearly she's hallucinating. Quick, get her more booze. Sarah then decides to sit and watch Ted and Dolly play Monopoly while Kathy stares at her. It's fun for the whole family. And I just find it funny that Ted and Dolly are going about Monopoly as if nothing weird is going on or has gone on. I mean, none of this feels awkward to anyone. That in itself is a Christmas miracle, right there. And I bet you can guess what happens next. That's right, Sarah starts having visions from the first-person viewpoint of a samurai ghost that's going around and killing people. And Sarah is really enjoying these visions. In fact, she goes back to bed so that she can enjoy them some more. Like this couple, Christy and Paul. Christy didn't deserve to die, but Paul was kind of a jerk. Just watch this. He's like, Christy, go make me some tea. So she does, and then he says this.
Where's my orange juice?
Yeah, Christy, you know damn well I can't go to bed without a glass of orange juice and a kettle of scalding hot tea rocking precariously on top of this waterbed. It's been my bedtime routine ever since I was a kid. I can't change it now. That's how I learned to apply burn cream. So the samurai ghost shows up to the house and everything starts shaking. And this would be absolutely terrifying. I mean, imagine having to clean all that up. Take forever. Take all weekend. The samurai tries to kill Dolly and Ted, but Kathy is doing something, so eventually it just goes away. Of course, they all want to know just what the hell is going on, much like the audience watching the movie.
What happened here?
Oh. I can't talk about it.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to try to tell us, Mom. I mean, the whole kitchen exploded. And Dolly and I never got to finish playing Monopoly, and I was clearly winning. I was flush with cash, I had hotels on Boardwalk and Park Place, and then all of this happened, and it ruined that. So, yeah, not exactly something that I can just get over. I'm gonna need an explanation. So suddenly, Ted acts as if he kind of knows what Kathy is talking about, but we never get any more information than that. And then he goes upstairs and has sex with Sarah as if nothing just happened. Apparently, nothing is a bigger turn on for Ted than almost being impaled by the sword of a ghost. The samurai ghost then leaves the house, goes outside and starts killing some campers for some reason. And see, this is why I don't like going camping. You have to worry about bears and snakes and the spirits of ancient warriors. Plus, I like having an actual bathroom. Call me spoiled, I don't care. So I guess it's the next day and it's time to get rid of Paul's body. You know, the guy who likes tea time to be a bit dangerous. And yeah, just gonna jam that body in the back. It'll fit, no problem. But the truck doesn't start. And what's worse than when a truck doesn't start? When a truck doesn't start with a dead body in the back. So Gary says he's going to have to take the horse. And look, Gary, I know you love Kathy, but considering what just happened last night, plus the fact that she seems to know something about what happened, but won't tell you, don't you think it's time to maybe reevaluate this relationship?
That's right, even the good old boys get fed up.
So Gary leaves on the horse. Where is he going? No idea. At the same time, Ted goes into the woods with a gun. Why? No idea. Dolly then wakes up and thinks it's time that her and Kathy had a serious talk.
Dolly, I didn't tell you could come in here.
I don't care, Mom. I think we need to have a serious talk about what happened last night. Yeah, Ted and I were playing Monopoly. He landed on free parking and gave himself $500. And I thought we all agreed as a family we weren't going to play with the free parking jackpot. And you just sat there the whole time. You saw the whole thing and you didn't say shit. So what? Does that mean you just don't see it as a big deal? Maybe you've been playing with the free parking jackpot this whole time too. Is everybody in this house just giving themselves $500 every time they land on that stupid spot? See, this is why I've always felt like I was adopted. Because I'm the only one who wants to follow the actual rules. Yeah, you should feel bad. You should feel ashamed. Everybody in this family should be ashamed. You're all sick. So Dolly goes out looking for Ted, who is just chilling out in the woods, and she runs into the samurai ghost, who starts talking to her. And see, this is where you lost me. I was buying into all of this right up until the samurai spoke in English and not Japanese. Just ruined the illusion. Also, suddenly Gary is just back, so where exactly did he go? It looks like he just took a lap around the farm. So they all hide behind this fallen tree because, as we all know, ghosts can't see around things. And once he gets close enough, Gary swings his axe and down goes the ghost. So they go back home and Sarah is like, yeah, hi, remember me? Your girlfriend who you just left alone with your mother who hates me? Do you have any idea how awkward breakfast was? And Gary wants to show Kathy that he killed the ghost because, you know, he's pretty proud of that. I think anybody would be.
Kathy! Kathy, look. Look, we've stopped it.
Burn it. Burn it!
And you know what, Gary? I think you gotta walk away from all of this, man. You deserve so much better. Not only does Kathy not want to marry you, she won't even reveal why her kitchen tried to kill you. And you're out there hunting deer, killing ghosts, and getting no appreciation. You don't want to be with somebody who treats you like that. You also don't want to be with someone who doesn't realize that when you find free samurai armor, you don't burn it, you take it home. and maybe try it on because it's pretty cool. So Dolly is like, Gary, burn it. And then she has the nerve to make a special request.
Gary, bring me some candy bars.
Yeah.
What the hell? Does Gary have to do everything around here? Hunt down Christmas dinner, transport dead bodies, kill samurai ghosts, and now he's got to hop on his horse and ride into town because Dolly's in the mood for a Twix? And also, I love how once again, they're just ignoring everything that happened over the past 24 hours. No, we've moved past all that. We're in the mood for candy bars now. All right, so you're gonna see a bunch of stuff now, and I'm not even going to attempt to try and explain what it all means. Sarah uses her powers to burn a childhood photo of Kathy, then she freezes Ted and puts on the samurai armor. There's some footage from World War II thrown in, and then, I don't know, they have this psychic power battle, and Kathy and Gary die, but then the kids come in, and I guess they have psychic powers too, so they, I don't know, blow up the samurai, and that's the end of your movie. I hope you're happy. There's a bunch of stuff going on in this movie, and I'm not entirely sure what is really happening a lot of the time. In fact, I'm pretty sure the writer-director didn't know either, because as I mentioned before, he was high when he made this movie, and that's where the title comes from. It's a reference to your heartbeat when you're high. The poster for this movie is pretty strange as well. I'm gonna censor part of this because I don't know what's gonna be allowed. It features something that isn't even in the movie at all. It's actually from a different movie. This is a cyborg from The Time Guardian. Now, you may have noticed that this movie was shot in 4:3. Well, the reason for that is apparently the DOP shot it that way because he thought it was a made-for-TV movie. And the director didn't realize that it was being shot that way until 2 weeks into the production. Like I mentioned at the beginning, this is an incredibly odd movie, but I found that it kept me watching because I was expecting at some point that things would be explained, but no, nothing. So yeah, it just ended up being really disappointing. Also, Gary died, and I think he deserved a lot better than that. I want to thank all of my supporters on Buy Me a Coffee, Patreon, and my YouTube channel members. I want to thank all of you for tuning in, but that's pretty much it for this one, and I'll see you all next time. Otherwise, I might have to tell Dolly that you've been playing with the free parking jackpot as well. And I don't think either of us want that. $500. I thought we all agreed. This isn't working. And I thought we all agreed as a family that we were gonna. That was a good one. This should be easy, Mark. There was a comment in the last video about me as a kid wearing a White Sox hat. And it's funny because when I put that picture in the video, I was like, someone's gonna mention the White Sox hat. So the reason I was wearing a White Sox hat is that at that age, when I was a kid, I had a bunch of different hats, and I really loved the White Sox logo, and I was also a big fan of Frank Thomas. I also had an Orlando Magic hat that was really cool, and again, I was a big fan of Shaq, and at the time, he still played for the Magic. Okay, I saved, and I have this hat. I got this for free when I bought Halo 2. The hat is awful though. It doesn't fit well. It's too shallow. The brim is all out of whack, but yeah, I used to have a ton of hats. But yeah, that White Sox hat, I love that hat, even though, you know, growing up a Jays fan.